Okie dokes, hello and welcome to a World of Tanks tutorial. This time around we're going to be doing tank destroyers. Now tank destroyers are unique in that they have an arc that's dictated by the tank, but generally tends to be 15 degrees to either, just tends to be like a 15-degree arc total that their guns can aim at. So this creates an interesting tactical situation in a game where most things can hit anything around them. Oh yeah, and let's throw in on top of that the fact that you have no armor anywhere but your front, or anywhere really. I mean, the one that I'm playing right now has no armor anywhere, period. But that's the specific tank. In general, though, you want to be at the greatest distance from your enemy, because your shots will travel faster than theirs and lose less penetration over a distance. Not to mention that you generally will have a better gun. Not necessarily a better DPS gun, just a better gun as far as damage and penetration go on any given shot. So it's like a high alpha kind of a deal. Alright, now next you wanna post up in some bushes or something. As a tank destroyer you get some very interesting camo bonuses where you become invisible, especially if you're at distance. So keep at distance, stay in bushes, and you will be invisible and very hard to hit and damage. Well, that's theory number one. Theory number two, behind door number two, we have a completely different style of play, where you use the fact that tank destroyers are actually very fast on their feet and just kind of rush in towards your enemy. You know, just run in there, swing in, and hope for the best. I generally don't subscribe to this theory, but it is quite beneficial to do that on certain tank destroyers. Not all of them, but just certain ones. Alright, so this tank destroyer is exceedingly bad, but the other good thing about tank destroyers is they're actually very accurate. And if I had a halfway decent crew in this one, it would have a good aim time as well. But I don't, and it doesn't. But generally, you can rely on your gunners to get a lock quite fast, which is nice. Always nice to be able to lock your targets in this game. Yeah. There we go. You see, and when you swivel, your accuracy monitor resets. So you have to readjust your sights and such. And I've just been getting really unlucky with these shots, I'm guessing. There we go. Finally got a hit that did no damage, but it took out his Strax, I guess. Oh, there we go. There we go. He only nearly one-shotted me. I wasn't... Yeah. But as I said, that's just the tank. In general, you can expect to survive multiple hits from the front as a tank destroyer, because you'll have a pretty healthy amount of armor up front, and the higher tier you get, the truer this will be. So what you really got to watch out for is people that get around to your sides, because once somebody's shooting at your side armor or your rear armor and you're a tank destroyer, you're gonna melt. It doesn't matter what tier of tank they are. They can be like 3 tiers below you and they'll still be doing some pretty respectable damage. So you got to keep that in mind. Now the reason I'm moving out is because they made their attack and it failed. So now it's time for my team to counterattack. Despite the fact that we don't really have any attacking tanks, barring our M4 Sherman and Panzer 3-4s. In the meantime, they have a decent bit of defensive kit, one could say. Fraps, why are you being a jerk right now? You were working just fine earlier in the day. Don't make me do this to you. I will pull the plug. No, I really won't. Fraps isn't on life support or anything. Sometimes I wish it was. Okay. So there we go. Now we've moved up to a point where we can just sort of chill out and maybe get some nice shots in on some things. So our first target will be the heavy, because he is the most threatening to us at this range. Though admittedly I'll take some pot shots at a T-34 if it presents itself in such a nice manner. And of course I won't get the killing blow on it, but what can you do? I mean, if you really wanted to as, oh, I know I was missing those KVs earlier. Well, A, it's because the accuracy on this thing is bad. But, B, it's because you have to lead less on a tank destroyer than you do on a normal tank. And this kind of compensates for the fact that they don't have as much, traverse that they can, well, you know, traverse. You're very limited in your view range. So now what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and go around and get on this hill to provide some overwatch to anyone that may be possibly moving in. And at that point I'm just hoping that my teammates actually do move in and don't just sit around camping 24/7. Yeah, I just need to get some eyes on the prize, if you know what I mean. So basically that KV is somewhere along here, but I don't actually have the view distance to spot him. So what I'm gonna hope is that that T-28 can get in spotting range of him, and then I should be able to take some shots. Okay, he's pinging where he thinks he saw somebody. D3. That's an odd square to ping. Maybe it was a D1 ping? At this point, I'm not really sure. Notice that when you're in third person, your tank destroyer will actually swivel, as opposed to when you're in sniper mode, you have to manually press the arrow keys. That's just one of those things that's kind of a little bit unique about them, and you kind of have to get used to it. And you also have to know that anytime you swivel, you're basically going to have to re-aim before you take a shot, and all of that nice fluffy duff stuff. So at this point, I'm just kind of letting rounds loose into thin air, really, because there's nothing else that I can do. I don't actually have eyes on him. Oh, there he is. So yeah, I've just gotten really unlucky and missed a lot of times. And there we go, third time, fourth time's a charm maybe? His tank hasn't moved, if you've noticed. It's just been standing in the same exact place, and I've managed to not hit him this entire time. And yet again, that's just this particular piece. Tank destroyers tend to be quite accurate. Tend to be, of course. Doesn't mean they are. I've got 3 shots left, so I'm probably going to run out of shots before I manage to kill this guy. Wow, no damage. Of course, game. Why don't you screw me some more? And oh yeah, let's give somebody else the last hit on that one. Yeah, let's give it to, what? Somebody that's not even alive. Cool game, cool. Oh, it's another Martyr 2 apparently killed him with them. Alright, so I have 1 shot, 8 hit points. There's only one thing left for me to do. To pretend to be an assault. An assault marine. Let's do it. And he's just saying that the guy at base is at 30%, which I know. Alright, so this guy's gonna come up from, I'm actually gonna let him go up here first, because he has 100% hit points. And he's not gonna go up the direct way, he's gonna go around, but keep in mind, you can't go around corners as a tank destroyer. You always want to move in a straight line, because that's the only time that you can fire. You cannot fire when going around a corner in a tank destroyer. Yes? Alright, there we go. Last shot. Ah, let's sink it in his corpse, because, yeah. As you see, we managed to get 0 kills, but still win. So, congratulations to us. We lived. And that has been how to play a tank destroyer with Common-Cat. That's right, folks. That's all you're getting. All the tutorial. No more tutorials for any of you. Hello, and welcome back to Fake Clone Tanks, or specifically the KV-1S, which is exactly like the IS, or at least it appears to be. Has the same amount of wheels, about the same dimensions. You know, the thing that differs are the canisters and the fact that it has a flat top. You know, it's probably a little bit worse, but the cannon and the turret in it look about the same. So it's a little bit confusing, you know how it goes. Now, Fraps has just not been cooperating with me today, and I have no idea as to why. I guess it just doesn't like me when I'm trying to help people out and record tutorials. Alright. Well then this is not a heavy tank tutorial at all, if that's the case. Fraps, you want to work now, please? With sugar on top? No.